Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Dev Mentor Day channel, streaming live here on YouTube and on Twitch every Monday, well, most Monday through Fridays at 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Central United States time, usually on Saturdays, although I had a really busy weekend. Honestly, between sermon preparation and preaching and work, I actually worked a lot over the weekend. It was very busy, so I apologize for having to cancel at the last minute, but I don't know about that, Dan. But hopefully we'll be able to move forward with some more stuff this coming Saturday. I have a little project that I want to jump on, even though we didn't finish the last project, because that's what we do as developers. Oh, there we go. I forgot about that. Yes, my kind of vintage ish Spider-Man t-shirt. So like all developers, we're gonna jump into a different project here on Saturday. I think the one on this coming Saturday that we're gonna do is gonna be pretty quick. I don't think it'll take a lot of time. So there's that. But anyway, welcome to the channel, back on Workday Recap here on the Dev Mentor Dave channel, and this is where we talk about my day, or talk about your day, or talk about something that I saw on LinkedIn. Honestly, I haven't even been on LinkedIn yet today because I've just been so busy. Today, Mondays are always more busy. For some reason, they have a lot of meetings, but this whole week actually is going to be very busy for me for some reason. So I'm just warning you now, there might be a day or two here this week where I'm going to have to not jump in live, unfortunately. But hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully we'll be able to still do this. I'll be working probably most evenings here as we're trying to get a lot of stuff done. And I'm trying to help out one of my teams that that needs to focus on all the normal development. I'm trying to fix, not fix, but add some other stuff to it, and deal with beta testers and all kinds of fun things. So lots of interesting stuff. Let's see. Ming says, just finished the interview. It's part-time, 20 hours unpaid, but full support and training is provided. After 3 months, they'll decide if they have funds, or if not, they'll give me access to their network of roles. What do you think? I mean, that's a lot of time to dedicate to something that doesn't have much of a guarantee. That's my first thought. However, if you're single, you don't have, a lot of things weighing down on you, and you've got the time, it may not be bad, right? If they don't have a specific role to stick you in, getting access to their network, oh, excuse me, that's kind of a high price. I guess my question is, so it's part-time, 20 hours. Does that mean you're actually working for someone? I do have a problem with that. It's one thing if it's 20 hours of unpaid learning. Obviously, that's, good. I guess clarify that for me some there, Ming, just so I can understand what's actually going on. I just kicked my camera. View all the mess that's behind me. It's an internship, an unpaid internship. So you are working for them. Interesting. Huh. You're interning through this company for another for-profit company? Is that how it works? I mean, I guess at the end of the day, the question is, are you willing to work for somebody for free, 20 hours a week for 3 months, for the potential of being hired? Here's what I would say. If you do this, don't stop looking for jobs. Because there's no guarantee. A, because it's not paid. B, because there's no guarantee that they're going to actually bring you on. Yeah, like I'm not saying don't take it. I would just say, if you do take it, understand any ramifications um, of cutting it off, of quitting if you have another opportunity pop up, and keep looking for other opportunities. It may be that this turns out to be a great opportunity. Here's what scares me. Is a company asking you to do work for them that they are most likely going to put into their end product for free. I am not a fan of asking people to do work for free, um, to evaluate them. I think that is, especially if you're going to use that work that they do in the product that you're building. I don't feel like that's ethical, in my opinion. At the end of the day, though, it really depends on you. Are you willing to go down that road, understanding that you're not going to make any money while you're doing it, but dedicating literally half of your working day to them? Yeah, that's exactly right, Dan. That's how I feel. I'm trying to be nicer than Dan, but Dan's expressing my feelings more succinctly. So 3 months of free labor, they have really learned how to take advantage of the terrible job market. Um, that's what it feels like. But again, at the end of the day, it's really your decision, right? And I want to be clear about that. It's just like I'm too tired to be nice. Well, it's like any other negotiation, right? Any other negotiation, um, you're it's on you to negotiate for yourself. It's on you to determine whether what is being offered is enough for you to spend the time working for that company, right? So work for free and for their product. MVP launches ready for November. There's still pre-seed funding. Okay. So, I mean, they're obviously going for funding, which is good. Um, would they would they be willing to give you some sort instead of pay? And again, I don't like this either, to be very clear. But if they're going to not pay you anyways, would they, or are they offering any form of stock in the company, anything like that? Any way that you, aside from getting a job after 3 months, is there anything that they're offering you that could be considered compensation, whether you actually end up working for them long term or not? Um, I feel like, especially if they're pre-seed funding, like that seems fair. If you're going to ask somebody to put in 3 months of part-time labor, then at least give them something for that, even if that something turns out being nothing, right? Dan says pre-seed funding means they need you to build enough to get seed money. You have a high likelihood of going away with nothing more than a few contacts. If that's what you need, then go for it, I guess. But this seems like hucksters. You're playing the lottery here. I agree. I would say, I mean, if they're offering this and they're getting people to accept, you know, good on them. But I would not take that without some other sort of compensation. If they're not willing to pay you or can't pay you now, then I would want some way to be paid, um, or to have some monetary gain from it in the future. I understand they can't guarantee that they are going to hire you, but here's the thing. So what they should be saying, if they what they should be saying is, we're going to give you stock, or they should be saying we will guarantee you a role once we are funded. All right, and they should be putting that in a contract. They should be guaranteeing at least a certain. They should be guaranteeing at least as much as you So, all right, let me think through this. So, here's what I would offer if I were even entertaining this, which I don't think that I would entertain it at all. But what I would entertain potentially is if I come on and I work for 3 months part time, then we figure out what that is worth, right? And what that is worth is, let's say it's $10,000, right? Just for an even number. So that's worth $10,000 for that 3 months part time. Um, so what I would do is in the contract that brings me in as an intern, as an unpaid intern, the contract would be that once they receive their initial seed money, they either pay you the back pay that you've earned, or they bring you on, and they let you go. There's no other ties, so there's nothing there. Or they bring you on staff and pay you that 3 months back pay as a hiring bonus. All right. So either way, if they get their seed money, they're contractually obligated to pay you for the time that you spent working for them. Now, that assumes that they eventually get their seed money. And it could be that they don't get their seed money for another 8 months, right? So you've got to be willing to go without those funds and potentially job after, for multiple months, or never get it at all. And I would really push for something like that if you are considering doing it. I don't know that I would consider doing it because, to Dan's point, you're outside of any sort of mentoring that you might get. I just don't know that you're going to really get value out of this. And sorry, I'm getting a lot of work notifications, especially on my watch. It keeps buzzing me. So that's why I would say I personally wouldn't take it. If you have the freedom and the flexibility to take it and you want to try it out, I would highly recommend you set up you ignore their current contract and tell them that you'll do it for a different contract, and give them some of those parameters that I laid out, mostly to ensure that you actually, if they get paid, that you get paid, even if it doesn't turn into a job. I would also make sure that there's nothing contractually keeping you from getting another job during that time and potentially quitting that internship because you've gotten a full-time job. And I would keep looking for a full-time job. So that doesn't sound like as good of a deal as that as that other one that I looked up the other day. I forget what it is now. Launch Code, I think. Launch Code. So I don't know if there's something like that you can take advantage of instead, which is really more learning. This seems like a startup just looking for a way to get its product out and make money without having to pay anybody anything, both now and in the future. Saying that they're not going to guarantee a job makes sense because they can't, because they don't know when they're going to have seed funding. But this whole thing about access to their network of roles, like, I don't even know what that means. And yeah, here's the thing with a startup that lean. With a startup that lean, you're not going to get the mentoring you're looking for. Yeah. What Dan's saying, is true. It just, I don't know. I really want you to find something, but I also don't want to encourage you to do something that I wouldn't do. But I also know everybody has a different situation. So don't just take what I'm saying, and what Dan's saying. But I would say it would be a good idea to at least take our concerns to heart as guys who have been in this for a long time and seen. I just don't think that it's right ever to not compensate somebody for work. Um, a laborer is worth his pay, right? And so if a company is not willing to, or if any organization, it's one thing if I offer to do something for free for someone. It's another thing if somebody expects that I'm going to do something for free for them, especially something that is specialized. I mean, despite what all these AI companies want to tell you, this is still a very specialized skill, and you have, even as a learner, you have value because you have knowledge and experience that other people don't have. And so for people to, you see this a lot of times on like messenger boards and things like that. I will give you experience for you building out my application. Like, I don't need experience building out your application. I can get experience building out my own applications, So like, everybody wants something for nothing, and um, I just would encourage you not to do that. The only way I would do something like that is if I had a contract that guaranteed I would at least get paid for my time once they have funding. And I would even stipulate in that contract, like, it is a requirement, like that is before they hire any other people, like before, like, all kinds of stipulations around how quickly that needs to be paid. And I don't know that you necessarily need to use a lawyer, but I mean, you need to think through all the loopholes that they're going to try to come up with um, to keep from paying you. To be perfectly honest, um, and I think that's what you need to be careful of. Dan says it's hard to say. I've worked exclusively at startups and I've had an unpaid trainee developers, but they were kids in high school doing it for school credits. That is a different story. I agree. So they were still getting something out of it. I've even been the newbie learning from a senior, and it worked out for me because they were my friend and they were an amazing mentor, but this sounds fishy. Unless they've had a real plan around training and can offer you something, it sounds shady. Yeah, the fact that they only have one DevOps person and developer, one senior developer, that's not a team that you're going to get mentoring from. Um, so, I mean, they're just, unless they're willing to put their money where their mouth is, it feels like they're lying through their teeth and they're just trying to get free labor. Um, Yeah, exactly. Those two people working on MVP, they're going to be crazy busy. And I don't know what the application is, and I don't know if you signed an NDA or things like that, but um, we we build applications oftentimes with one senior developer, but we also usually have a lead over that. So it's really not a just single person developing everything. Plus a director is over it managing, the client relationship and things like that too. So there's more hands on it than just that one developer. But um, especially when it's an internal project, there's a lot more expectations on people to get things done. Whereas when you're billing hourly or we're billing a weekly on a project, it's a little bit more project managed, if that makes sense. And a lot of times at startups, especially with just a couple people, there's a lot of fires that have to get put out, and they're going to want you to be very independent. And maybe they just won't ask you to be in the internship. I don't know. Did they say they wanted you to do it, or are they still trying to figure that out? I agree, Dan. Having a DevOps guy is weird this early. Yeah, it sounds like my guess would be is probably. I'd be interested to know what other people are involved in this company. Right, either he's the founder or he's a friend of the founder. Um, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like he's related to somebody. That's why he's in on this as a DevOps guy this early. We've already got what's that called? Um, oh shoot, I can't think of the title. My brain is shot. Oh, I can't think of it. Yeah, very sly thinking there, Dave. I approve. Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, especially if there's no like, do they have salespeople? Do they have a CEO, a CTO? Like, if you've only got one developer, my guess is the developer is probably the owner, and the DevOps guy is a friend or family member or something like that. Because yeah, there's almost never, unless the project literally is some sort of DevOps tool or something like that. Having a DevOps person this early in the process is probably not normal. I'll just put it that way. So they currently have an internship because they won a hackathon. I don't know why winning a hackathon would have anything to do with having an internship. So it's is the product from the hackathon? Is this something that they're just trying to build because they built it over a weekend? Yeah, I mean, I'll just be honest with you, Ming. There's just the more we talk about it, the more sketchy it sounds. And again, I want to be very clear. When we say that it's sketchy, we're not saying that these are horrible people. Um, they may just be trying to find the cheapest way to get the product built, right? I mean, everybody wants to find the cheapest way to do that. Um, that's why I don't get a lot of products built because I don't have the money to pay people, right? Because I don't believe in taking free labor. Um, but other people are willing to do that, and again, I that just because we feel sketchy about something doesn't mean that their intentions are wrong. They may have really good intentions, and they may truly feel like they're going uh, to be able to get funding for this. Like they may truly believe in their product and in the results that they think they're going to get from that, and they may be offering these things in good faith with that assumption. But man, that's just even with that, that's just not a situation that I would generally recommend people jump into. Dan says if you're young and you have the 20 hours to burn, then it could be an amazing opportunity. I did that once in my 20s and it turned into a 10-year career that was both crazy and I loved. uh, at 39 and 4 kids and a wife, I don't think I would do that again. Yeah, probably not. You're only 39? Doggone it, man. I thought you were closer to my age. I mean, I'm only 44, but still, that's a 5-year gap, man. Now I feel old. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Oh man, yeah. I don't know, Ming. My gut says no. There you go. 4-year gap. I just turned 44 in June to end of June, so there's that. Uh, yeah, they do. They do often have unpaid internships, but man, to me that's like something that you take when you're in school, like Dan mentioned, you're in school, whether it's high school or college, and it's gonna benefit you in some way towards your degree or something like that. I just don't. I've never understood an unpaid mentorship. Mentorship. There's a new word. A mentorship. Oh man. That's what it should be. An internship should be a mentorship. Um, I don't know if is that even a word? Let's find out. This is gonna be fun. We should end with this. We don't want to mention what what is a men, mentorship? I don't even know how to spell it. Claude's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Mentorship is a whatever this word is portmanteau of mentor and internship that typically refers to an internship experience with a strong emphasis on mentorship. It is in a mentorship, the intern doesn't just perform tasks or gain work experience, they're paired with an experienced professional who actively guides and teaches them and supports their professional development. The key difference is closer relationship, personalized guidance, skill development focus, career coaching. Mentorship.com. It's for sale for $4,295. That's hilarious. Mentorship dot dev. Is dev I don't think a dev is a thing. That's funny. Like, I'm really serious about potentially grabbing that domain if I can find one that's not $4,000. Don't you all take it from me, the two of you that are actually watching this. uh I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Dan. He's trademarked that one. See, now I gotta go. Doggone it. I gotta get off here so you guys don't take it from me while I'm streaming. I'm just kidding. Honestly, I literally just stopped the renewal on a bunch of my domains that I had because I'm like, I'm not gonna keep paying $20 a year for these things that I'm not using. So yeah, I probably won't end up getting it. So if somebody wants to swipe it, I've been thinking about doing some sort of I have all kinds of ideas and things that I would love to pursue if I had time, and I don't have time, so none of it's going to ever happen. Um, but some sort of mentoring program type thing is I would love to do something like that that generated income, but mentoring doesn't typically generate income unless you're building like courses or things like that, and I do not have the time to do those things. And quite frankly, I don't know enough. And you don't want to be learning coding from me, generally speaking, because I don't do it every day and I forget a lot of things. And you have watched me on the Saturday live streams struggle through that. So that, first of all, it would take forever to build the training course because it would take forever to find actual snippets that I could string together that would be useful and helpful from me doing it. So there you go. I build broken projects over a weekend and then never touch them again. That's pretty much me, except I do it live for people to mock. So there you go. How's that? All right. Well, thanks, guys. Hopefully that was at least informative. Me, give you some perspectives there. Whatever you end up doing, obviously, we're gonna wish you the best in it. And you never know. It may be a great opportunity. It just really scares me. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow again. Kind of a busy week this week, and I don't know, trying to get lots of different things done for several clients that are going to bleed into off hours for sure, but hopefully I'll still be able to kind of save some of this time, and I know I'll save a lot of time by not coding in React for sure, because that's a junky framework. But anyway, have a great day, guys. I will talk to you later.